Hello everyone and welcome to the WilliamTopsTV community. I'm your host and today I'm excited to take you on a tour of the 10 strangest tombs in the world. Each of these tombs is unique and has an intriguing story behind it that has captured the imagination of people all over the world. So get ready to explore together and discover the mysteries behind these incredible tombs. Let's get started! Imagine a tomb with a glass window that allows you to see the decomposing body of someone who died over a century ago. Sounds macabre, doesn't it? Well, that's what many people do when they visit the grave of Timothy Clark Smith in Vermont, USA. Timothy was a respected physician and teacher with an admirable professional life. However, he had a very particular fear, taphophobia, which is the terror of being buried alive. In Timothy's time, this fear was not so rare. Medicine was not as advanced as it is today, and there are true stories of people who were declared dead by mistake, woke up inside their coffin, and, in desperation, tried to escape, but did not succeed. To avoid this fate, Timothy designed his grave in a rather unusual way. His coffin is in the ground like any other, but above his face is a 14-inch glass window that allows onlookers to peek in and see what is left of him. In addition, he included a breathing tube and tied a bell to his hand. This way, if he woke up in his grave, he could breathe and ring the bell for someone to help him. Most curious of all, Timothy died on Halloween night in 1893, which adds an even more sinister touch to this story. Today, this tomb remains a place of interest for those attracted to the macabre and mysterious. Although what you see through the window may be shocking and disturbing, curiosity is always stronger. If you dare to visit, you may come away with a rather disturbing souvenir. In Martyrs Cemetery in New Orleans lies the grave of Josie Arlington, one of the city's most influential and wealthy madams in the early 1900s. Josie was famous for her life in Storyville's red light district, a place known for its nightlife and illegal activities. In 1910, she purchased a plot in the cemetery and commissioned a sculptor to design her grave. Most striking is a bronze statue depicting a young woman trying to knock on the grave's door, as if attempting to enter. Some believe this statue symbolizes Josie's entry into her shame-filled life, while others think it represents a young girl wanting to return to her father's house after running away. What happens after her death is even more chilling. After her passing, her relatives fought over her enormous fortune, eventually selling her home and even her grave to a lawyer named Jose A. Morales. Josie's remains were moved to a secret location in the cemetery, and the grave became known as the Morales Tomb. However, visitors claim to have seen the specter of a young girl walking among the graves with flowers in her arms, and when this happens, the statue on the tomb disappears. Many believe it is the tortured soul of Josie Arlington trying to return to her true grave. In the famous Père Lachaise Cemetery in Paris rests Fernand Arbelot, a musician, actor, and architect who, although he was not well known during his lifetime, left a tomb that continues to attract attention for its peculiar design. The story goes that Fernand loved his wife deeply, and his last wish was to be able to contemplate her beautiful face forever. Therefore, his tomb includes a statue depicting him lying down, delicately holding a head, symbolizing his beloved. In this way, Fernand continues to look at her beyond death. The inscription on his tomb reads, "They marveled at the beautiful journey that took them to the end of life," a phrase that reflects the love and togetherness they shared until their last day. This monument has become a symbol of eternal love, showing that for Fernand, not even death was enough to separate him from the person he loved most. At the Lone Fir Cemetery in Portland, Oregon, you'll find a grave that is a true tribute to Paul G. Lynn's passion for Scrabble. Instead of a conventional headstone, his grave features a design that mimics a Scrabble board, reflecting his love of the word game. Paul G. Lynn's tombstone is unique and captures the attention of all visitors with its quirky and fun style. Although the tomb was damaged by vandalism, the local community rallied to restore it, organizing a Scrabble tournament to raise funds. Paul's tomb is an excellent example of how people can immortalize their passions and leave a fun and meaningful legacy for those who come to visit. Vivian May Allison passed away unexpectedly in 1899 at the age of 5 years old. To honor her memory, her parents decided to build a very special grave in Connorsville City Cemetery in Indiana, USA. Vivian's grave is designed as a dollhouse, complete with some of her favorite dolls. This grave is much more than a curiosity. It represents her parents' deep love and sadness at the loss of their daughter. Rather than viewing it morbidly, we should appreciate this gesture as a touching display of affection and mourning. In Connorsville, the grave is known as the Little House Built with Grief. Before you continue, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of our next videos. And if you know of any tomb that you think should be in this top, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear your opinion. At first, this memorial may appear to be flooded, but it is actually much more interesting. In 1570, a group of Jesuit missionaries were traveling from Portugal to Brazil when their ship was attacked by French pirates led by Jacques Souris. The pirates brutally murdered all the priests on board, and some were even dismembered and thrown into the sea. To honor the victims, a memorial was erected near La Palma Island, which is part of the Canary Islands. This memorial is located 60 feet under the Atlantic Ocean and is composed of 40 crosses, representing the 40 men who lost their lives in this brutal attack. Imagine waking up 6 feet under, with no one to hear you or pull you out of your coffin. That happened to Octavia Hatcher. In January 1891, Octavia gave birth to her son, Jacob, who sadly passed away shortly thereafter. She fell into a deep depression and eventually into a coma. On May 2nd, she was pronounced dead and buried in the Pikeville Cemetery. A few days later, several Pikeville residents began to fall ill with a strange sleeping sickness, and then awoke. Octavia's husband had the grave exhumed to investigate and found a terrifying scene. Her face was contorted in an expression of horror. The casket lining was torn and her fingernails were broken and bloody. All indications were that Octavia Hatcher had been buried alive and died in terror trying to escape. Locals believe her spirit still haunts the site. It is said that a woman can be heard crying near her grave, but when someone approaches, the crying suddenly stops. In Maplewood Cemetery in Mayfield, Kentucky, you will find a rather unusual memorial known as the Wooldridge Monuments. This peculiar set of 18 statues has been called the strange procession that never moves. Colonel Henry G. Wooldridge had these statues erected shortly before his death on May 30th, 1899. The curious thing is that, although only he is buried at the site, the memorial includes statues of his mother, brothers, sisters, nieces, and even 2 statues of Henry himself, one riding his favorite horse and the other next to a lectern. There are also statues of his dogs and other animals. The tombstone of Caroline Barnes is one of the most curious in St. Omer Cemetery in Ashmore, Illinois. Shaped like a crystal ball on a pyre, this tomb is notable not only for its unusual design, but also for the mystery surrounding it. Unlike the other tombs, which are oriented east to west, Caroline's is positioned north to south. In addition, her date of death is one that does not exist, February 31st, 1882. Local legend has it that Caroline was accused of being a witch, and that the impossible date on her tombstone is a trick to keep her from being resurrected, since if her death date never comes, she would not be able to return. Although there is no historical evidence to confirm that Caroline was a witch, the crystal ball on her grave has inspired mysterious stories. It is said to glow on moonless nights, and remnants of melted white candles have occasionally been found on it, fueling rumors of secret rituals at the site. Although parts of the legend are clearly exaggerated, tragedy seems to have accompanied her family. Her husband, Marcus Barnes, died in a sawmill accident, and Caroline died shortly afterward of pneumonia at age 23. The story of Abelardo and Heloísa is one of the most famous romances of the Middle Ages. Abelardo was a renowned French philosopher and logician, and one of the foremost teachers of his time. He was hired to teach Heloísa, a wealthy young noblewoman, and during their time together, a deep romance arose between them. Their relationship led to an illegitimate child and a secret marriage. When Heloísa's uncle discovered their relationship, he took drastic measures. He sent Heloísa to a convent and castrated Abelardo. Despite these tragic events, Abelardo and Heloísa continued to exchange letters, which are well known and have been preserved over the centuries. In 1817, the remains of Abelardo and Heloísa were buried together in a large tomb in the Père Lachaise cemetery, as a symbol of their eternal love. Today, it is a tradition for modern lovers to leave letters on his grave, as a tribute to their tragic but immortal romance. Although visitors' letters may not fulfill their wishes, the act of leaving a message on the grave remains a touching way to honor these two great lovers.